It happens to the best of us. We apply for a credit card and get denied. In fact, if you saw one of my recent videos, I personally got denied when I applied for the US Bank Altitude Reserve card. And I actually got denied for one small reason in particular. So if you want to know what that was, go watch that video after this one. But the purpose of today's video is to go over the real main reasons why most people get denied for their applications whenever they're applying for a new credit card or other type of loan-based product. Because once you're aware of the biggest reasons why people tend to get denied, you'll then be able to understand what you need to do or what level you need to reach in your credit journey to get approved. And if you ask me, that's pretty helpful to know. So let's kick things off right now with the real reason number one why people tend to get denied, which is they apply for the wrong card at the wrong time during their journey. For example, if you're a beginner to credit, that is, you have no credit history built up whatsoever, either with credit cards or other financial products that help you build credit, then you probably want to look at things like student credit cards if you're still enrolled in a university, or secured credit cards where you put down a deposit, or even potentially some bank specific cards. That is, you already have something like a checking account or a savings account with some funds with that institution, and then you go apply for one of their cards directly. Then if you happen to find yourself trying to rebuild your credit from a lower score, then some builder type cards or even secured cards again can be a very helpful tool for you to help regain some of those points and boost your score over time when you use them responsibly in the right way. And for those of you who have already established credit, maybe you have a year or two or more of good history, on-time payments, and all that positive stuff working in your favor, then you can pretty much get any type of rewards or travel type cards that you like, again, provided you also have a strong enough score and other factors like income, well-managed debt levels, and all that. Those types of things we'll talk about later in this video. Reason number two, a short credit history. Generally, the longer your credit history, the better your score. You can see here on the screenshot on the left-hand side of your screen that your FICO score takes into account how long your credit accounts have been established, including the age of your oldest account, the age of your newest account, and the average age of all of your accounts together. And it does make up 15% of your score. Reason number three for getting denied, not knowing bank rules. And there are a lot of them across different banks, and they're not all the same either. For instance, you may have heard about the Chase 524 rule, the Amex lifetime rule, Citi's 48-month rule, or Bank of America's 234 rule, etc. Some of these are hard rules that always apply, others are more soft rules that may or may not apply. I've done some videos, for example, on how to get approved for Chase cards that goes over a lot of the rules. Same with the American Express cards too. I'll probably do some other ones as time goes on with other issuers on top of those as well. But in general, do some research on blogs, forums, etc. to be familiar with these rules for these different issuers, to make sure that at least from a general standpoint, assuming your credit score and everything else is in good shape, that you also understand individual rules so you don't be denied for a silly reason. On to reason number four, high debt or utilization. Now with debt, I'm referring to a much broader picture here. That is, you have too much total debt on your credit report, and this can be from a variety of different financial products like credit cards, other loans, be it student loans, personal loans, etc., perhaps a mortgage, etc. And when it comes to utilization, what that means here, specifically referring to credit card products, is that you're using too much of your existing lines of credit by the time they report to the bureaus each month. Generally, having a utilization under 30% will help you reach good credit scores, and under 10% will help you reach great or top level credit scores. Now, let's look at a personal example from my Citi Custom Cash card. You can see here in the top in green font is my billing period or my billing cycle. It has different names. This one was a recent one for me. It was from April 27th, 2023 over to May 24th, 2003, a 28-day cycle, and the balance of my cart was reported on the last day of that cycle, or May 24th. Now move your eyes down a little bit to that blue box in the middle left of the screen where it says new balance as of 5/24/23. that was the date my $649.04 balance was reported to then have my utilization calculated. Again, the way this was calculated was the balance at that moment in time, $649.04, divided by my total credit limit, which is $6,900. You take that result, multiply it by 100 to put it in percent terms, and therefore I got a 9% utilization, which is great. As you saw on the previous screen, remember below 30% is for good scores, and then under 10 is typically for great scores. So I did a fine job with that there. I tend to not put huge balances on this card anyway, so that works out well. But remember, because balances only get reported roughly once a month here with most cards, for that reason, you can use a lot more of your limit if you want or need to for your purchases. Just remember that if you want to have a low utilization get reported, find out when your billing period or billing cycle ends. In my case, it was the 24th of May. So if I had a really big balance, what I'd probably want to do is make an early payment, let's say on May 20th, to lower that balance down back to the under 10% range. Then wait for that balance to get reported, get my bill at that time, and whatever my balance remaining of that total was, pay off the rest by that due date as a second payment. All right, let me jump in here real quick and briefly mention that if you're looking for a great way to manage multiple cards in one easy to use app, check out today's sponsor called MAXREWARDS to help you out in a really big way. The main dashboard here gives me a great overview. I can see my rewards balance in dollar terms, my card balance, also my utilization, and my available credit, along with when my bills are due and my sign-up bonus trackers. Plus, as I scroll down further, it also displays my credit scores across different banks here, which is really cool to be able to monitor that. The next tab over called Activity allows me to see all my transactions across all my cards in one place, including which transactions are pending, which ones are posted, any annual fees that came due, credits I received, and more. Then moving over to the Best Card tab, it tells me which card to use for certain transactions so I can always earn the greatest amount of rewards. And if I tap on one, for example, like dining with my Discover card, which is earning 5% back right now, I can also see other alternative cards, in this case my Amex Gold Card, and also customize the value of the points based on how I value them. And then the Benefits tab automatically activates all of my Amex offers, Chase offers, and more for me, so I don't have to do any of that manual work myself. So this is available with the gold level of MAXREWARDS. There are plenty of other free features as well. So if you want to at least try the gold level entirely free for your first month, there's a link down below in the description. Definitely try it out and see if you like how MAXREWARDS can simplify all of your credit card management. And now back to those reasons why way too many people get denied. Reason number 5 for getting denied will be derogatory marks. In other words, negative information on your credit report. These could take a lot of different forms here. A few of the most common ones are late payments, foreclosures, charge-offs, repossessions, bankruptcies, civil judgments, tax liens, and the list can go on from there. The past is the past. If you had a bankruptcy or a late payment at some point in the past, it's not going to ruin your future. Of course, a lot of these things can stay on your report for 7 to 10 years, depending on what type of thing it is. But just make sure that going forward, you're going to be very, very conscious and financially smart to make sure that none of these things occur in your financial world. Reason number 6. Too many recent inquiries. And in this context, we're specifically referring to the hard inquiries, which are basically a request by a lender to view your credit report to determine if they're willing to lend you money. An example of this could be you have applied for a credit card, a line of credit, or a loan. Different banks may have different look-back periods. For example, in the last 3 months, last 6 months, or last 12 months tend to be quite common, especially 6 to 12. And when they see a lot of inquiries, that's telling the banker, oh, this person's seeking credit at a pretty rapid rate or a high velocity of credit, and on paper that looks bad. So one tactic to help you potentially increase the odds of approval on your next application would be to have a little bit of a cool off period, so to speak, where you might go several months without applying for anything, like no more new cards, for example, before going for that next one. Reason number 7, too many newly opened accounts. If banks see too many of those new accounts being reported to your credit report that also looks like a high risk activity. So again, having a cool off period go by of 3, 6 months or more, whatever you deem is going to be necessary for you, can definitely work in your favor. Our 8th reason is that your credit score was simply too low. While different scores can have different ranges and thresholds, in general in the credit world, your FICO score will range from 300 up to 850, and the different cutoff ranges you can see there listed on the outside, like 300 to 580, then it would be 581 to 670, 671, 740, etc. And those represent poor, fair, good, very good, and exceptional credit. And I've got some not so great news. Usually the credit score requirements for certain cards are not published online. So if you were to ask me, hey Mark, what score do I need to have for that Bank of America card? I simply cannot tell you because Bank of America does not tell the general public. Some banks, I would imagine, have minimum score requirements, but even people with good scores can still be denied. That's because every credit decision goes beyond just your 3-digit score, although it's still very important. So if you get denied for a low score, even though you don't know what the minimum threshold is, at least you know what to focus on. Just work on getting your score up before you apply again. On to reason number 9, your income is too low. That is, it may not have met the lender's minimum requirement. Unfortunately, just like credit score requirements for cards, the income requirements are also usually not published anywhere. This would also be due to the income being too low compared to your debt levels. That is your debt to income ratio, or DTI. Also, the good news side is that the debt to income ratio can work in your favor. If you don't have a very high income right now, but you've got low debt levels, that can look very good. Someone making, 35, 40K a year might get approved for a card, while somebody else making $250,000 may get denied. That's because maybe that higher income person also has high debts. The banks see your DTI ratio and say, does this person have enough cash flow or assets to be able to pay bills? In other words, your credit card bill, or are they living really, really tight with small margin to where they don't have much money left over to be able to cover their credit card bill. So that's why managing your debts and being financially responsible can really help you out, even if your income's not that big. And the 10th and final main reason is that you have too much credit already given to you. That is, you have the maximum amount of credit an issuer is willing to give you at this moment in time. So if you're denied for this reason, first of all, you could call that bank if you already have cards with them and say, hey, can you take $5,000 from card X and move it over to open up this new card? That way they're not giving you any new credit, they're taking what you already have and doing a reallocation to help you open up a new card. And if they're not willing to do that, then what you could do is cancel one of your cards that you really don't have much of a need for anymore, and then go ahead and apply for a new one, assuming you really want or need that new one for a certain purpose. Again, certain banks will only give you so much at that moment in time. So otherwise you could just wait a little bit longer until your income increases. And then if you're able to apply again with a higher income figure, then that might also work more in your favor too. Now here's a summary of all 10 major real reasons behind those credit card denials you may have gotten in the past. Hopefully this is a great overview for you to kind of keep your eye on the things that may have held you back in the past. That way you know what to focus on going forward. And then taking all the info and synthesizing it into some great tips to help you get approved, here's another little list for you to look over as well. First of all, you want to pay down your existing debts as much as you can. Then report low utilization on the existing cards you already have. Focus on getting your credit score up. Wait for inquiries to fall off and for your new accounts that you've already opened to age a bit longer. Learn those bank rules, increase your income over time, put financial responsibility over or above the credit card game, because those habits will help you do well with credit and everything else you do going forward. Also, make sure you apply for the right cards based on your credit profile at that moment in time. And if you get denied, remember that you can call the reconsideration line to hopefully have a live agent maybe overturn the decision, because remember, if you got denied the first time, that's typically just because the computer system or algorithm denied you. And with all that said, if you enjoyed today's video and believe it could benefit other people, then please help me get it in front of them by liking this video, subscribing to the channel, and turning on those notifications. Also, check out the links down below in the description area to earn some more cash back when you shop online through Rakuten, to sign up for MAXREWARDS, which is a great place to manage your credit cards, credit score, rewards, and more all in one place, and to view my site with some great credit card offers that I've organized into different categories to help you find the cards that you like best. I thank you all for watching today's video. I hope it brought you some great value. I look forward to seeing you in future videos, and while you're waiting for that next one to hit the channel, always remember that you are great.